Let's take you to another story now. A Limpopo businessman is in court today for fraud and corruption. He will reappear on the 31st of October. The matter against Maphoko Kgomoeswana was postponed in the Pretoria Specialised Commercial Crimes Court this morning. He stands accused of tax evasion in his personal and representative capacity for his company, Babintlou Business Services. The alleged fraud was discovered during investigations of the controversial 745 million rand Eskom Kusile power station corruption case. And eNCA's Heid Giokos is covering that story for us. She joins us now live for an update. Heidi, it seems like quite a short court appearance today. What happened?
Yes, indeed, a very short court appearance, and the reason for this is because the state prosecutor, so in other words, the state needs to respond to heads of argument that were filed apparently this morning by the defence team, so they need time to, of course, go through those heads of arguments and respond accordingly. They will submit their heads of argument response by the 18th of October. And then they will proceed on the 31st of October with this matter. But I think it's important to highlight what the accused is facing. In this particular matter, Maphoko, he is facing a charge of tax evasion. What's interesting, though, is that the accused is facing a number of other charges in a number of other matters. And this all links to tax evasion, but also when it comes to a deal that was issued out regarding the Eskom Kusile project. According to the investigating directorate, they are confident that they are able to prove that certain money was paid over to the accused and his company that was not supposed to be paid over. So they believe that there was corruption involved, and, of course, this tax evasion. He stands accused with a number of other individuals, including a former Eskom official, Frans Hlakudi, in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court. That matter is a separate matter. So this is not the only matter the accused is facing when it comes to Eskom-related matters. But I want us to listen to the investigating directorate, who we got a chance to speak to earlier about this postponement.
The main Kusile 745 million rand matter returns to court on the 4th of November. It's in the Palm Ridge Court. This accused also stands part and parcel of a restraint of his property as well as his co-accused in that main matter to the value of about 1.4 million that the asset forfeiture unit within the NPA and the ID were able to get. But the postponement today was about his main tax charges, the 18 million, where he's basically challenging the charge sheet. Judgment is expected to be delivered on the 31st of October. Today, no oral arguments were heard as anticipated because of the late filing of the accused in this particular matter of further documentation that the magistrate needed to peruse. What will now happen is that we are going to further respond to those further documents that will be provided by next week, Tuesday, the 18th of October, and then judgment will be delivered in the interlocutory application in this matter on the 31st.
And Heidi, just very quickly, do we know exactly how he's linked to Hlakudi himself? Exactly what type of transactions, whether it be SMSs or whatnot, did the ID, for instance, say they are able to link him to?
Yes, so I think it's got to do with the fact that the accused in this particular matter had a business that perhaps got a tender through that Eskom Kusile project, and the ID has been able to provide evidence and will most likely provide evidence when this matter goes to trial to prove that perhaps that tender should have not been awarded, and given the fact that that tender was awarded, it was the value of that tender was exorbitant, and I think this is where the ID says they will be investigating further. But Maphoko, I just want to touch on the aspect very quickly about Kusile and how this was a multi-billion rand project that took off and was supposed to be providing electricity to South Africans. And the reality here is that Kusile is now not operating to full capacity. And many would say, but how do you link the this particular matter with corruption and tax evasion with the current energy crisis. But there is a direct link, and the direct link here is the fact that money that should have been used to complete that Kusile power station was not. And there's a lot of corruption that took place at that power station, and this is having a direct impact on the energy crisis in the country at this stage. So the investigating directorate says that they have been investigating, they will be investigating further, as they do believe that there is sufficient evidence to prove that there was a lot of corruption going on that should have not been going on, of course, and the fact that there were tenders and tenders awarded when they should have not been, and when they were awarded, it was at a price that should have never happened.
And we all know, Heidi, how both Kusile and Medupi took very long to actually even go online because of all the postponements that we had to endure as South Africans, and that's where you see the ballooning of prices. But let's leave it there for now. Heid Giokos live for us in Pretoria.